Broadcast is copywritten by the SAGU Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the SAGU Sports Network consent is prohibited.
Where the SAGU Sports Network is proud to present SAGU Lions football. Today, the Lions play host to the Arizona Christian University Firestorm. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. I'm Rob Price. You're Tim Roberts. We'll check in with Kristen Urban in just a second. Tim, it's homecoming weekend. It's a big day for Lions both on and off the field. We got tailgating happening outside, students, fans, faculty, alumni all here for a big anticipation of a homecoming win.
Well, it's going to be a tough one for the Lions, though, as they try to find that homecoming win going against the 2-2 Firestorm out of Arizona Christian University. They had a 16-hour, 1,000-mile-plus bus ride from Phoenix to get here, so you better believe they don't want to drive 16 hours back after a loss. They are defending CSFL champions, going 6-3 last year after a 2-7 record in their first year of existence. So again, just their third year of existence, the Firestorm, but already making an impact on this conference.
In their first matchup last year, a 61-30 win by the Firestorm in Arizona. They went on to win the next game against Bacone en route to an undefeated run through the CSFL. So they're coming in here, high-powered offense, ready to go again. Meanwhile, for SAGU, Tim, marks the midway point in the season, 2-3 right now. A chance to turn around, really been an up-and-down season. Began with high expectations. With some key injuries, though, Coach Tristan, major adjustments.
Yeah, and that biggest adjustment we found out this week, C.J. Collins will be out for the rest of the year after the injury he sustained in the Week 2 loss against East Texas Baptist. So it's Lincoln Kenneser the rest of the way. He's been valiant so far in relief, and now he's not relief anymore. He is the starter for the rest of the year for Lincoln Kenneser. So the Lions will have to make some big adjustments, knowing that C.J. Collins isn't coming back now.
It'll be fun to see. Quick break, right back with a lot. We got a field report, keys of the game, players watching, and more right here on the SAGU Sports Network. Stay with us. Let's go check in with Kristen Urban, who's down on the field. Kristen, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. It's a beautiful day for football. Now, rain yesterday brought in cooler temperatures and a slight breeze. Now, field conditions are pretty dry, which makes for great playing conditions. Now, the fans have been here since 9, and we are hyped and we are ready for what looks to be a great homecoming game. That's all I have for you down here. Back to you, Rob.
She is excited.
Man, those fans are loud and rowdy down there already.
We saw a line of fans lining up just to welcome the football team as they got off the bus. So they are fired up and ready early here at Lumpkin Stadium. Time now for keys to the game. Team, let's begin with SAGU. The defense is going to be the theme all week long here in our keys to the game. Let's begin with locking down Donovan. Coach Tristan told me this week he knows his defense is in for a huge challenge trying to shut down their star receiver, Donovan Smith. So, Tim, they're going to put their best defensive player, Carl Morgan, on him all day and give him double-team help with safeties over the top. Smith does average 6 balls a game for 75 yards. Number 2, no fourth-quarter flops. After giving up just 10 points in the fourth quarter in the first 2 games of the season, we're seeing a disturbing trend in the defense. In fact, last week, Lions gave up 22 points in the fourth quarter to Lyon College in that 48-42 overtime loss on the road. That kind of letdown in late-game scenarios usually reveals potential problem in effort and heart and passion, so the Lions must make huge adjustments in the fourth quarter today. And finally, for SAGU, put out that offensive fire, as in Firestorm, as in they average an astonishing 78 offensive plays a game. That's Chip Kelly-type numbers. This stat reveals ACU's play calling on offense, not so much about out-coaching you as out-scheming you and out-conditioning you. And the SAGU defense is going to have to be on high alert. A few more Red Bulls, Tim, to make things happen, to slow down that ACU offense.
And walk through that Lions den. ACU yards a game on the ground well.
SAGU is allowing 217 a game, just getting demolished up front. The Firestorm just have to attack that Lions D-line, just rush through it, and they could be rolling all day long. Second key to the game, keep drives alive. ACU is 44% on third downs, 60% on fourth down, so that's been a pretty good average when you want to keep drives alive. And when you have a banged-up Lions defense like this, if you can just keep them on the field, keep those drives alive, you can wear them out. Last, don't keep tempting fate. Through the first 4 games, ACU has fumbled the ball 9 times, but they've only lost 3 of them. You don't want to keep that trend up. If those balls start bouncing away from you instead of back into your hands, that could be the crack in the door the Lions need to pull a big-time upset on homecoming.
Real quick now, some players to watch for you. For SAGU, we'll go again with running back J.P. Lowry. He is becoming the main workhorse, although we will see Ricky Bickham with some carries. It's Lowry who averages nearly 100 yards per game. Number 2, wide receiver Justin Allen. Now, this young man averages just 3 balls a game with 40 yards. He's not a regular go-to guy yet, but Tim, you and I have seen Kenneser target him a lot in our last 2 broadcasts. So, plus he returns kicks and punts, so he could be a factor in today's ball game. We'll watch him. And finally on defense, freshman Matt Williams. This D-back, he's a freshman, had 14 tackles, including a sack and a tackle for loss. He's got kind of a linebacker's body, but DB speed. So we'll keep an eye on Matt Williams today.
And for Arizona Christian, leading the way, quarterback Garrett Grinwald, 280 yards per game, 6 touchdowns to just 3 picks so far this season. He was your CSFL Offensive Player of the Year last year. How about linebacker Josh Carter? This guy is just a heat-seeking missile out there. 22.5 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and a forced fumble. All of those stats are either leading or tied for the lead on this team, so he is the anchor to that defense. And last, how about running back Quinta Thomas? 301 all-purpose yards, both rushing and receiving this year, with 4 total TDs. So he's the guy that Grinwald is looking for out there.
We're about 12 minutes from kickoff. Right back, a quick break with much more right here on the SAGU Sports Network pregame show. Stay with us. And welcome back to the pregame show. Let's go downfield and check in with Kristen Urban, who is with head coach Frank Tristan.
Thanks, Rob. Coach, how did you motivate the team this week to put the loss behind them and look forward to a strong homecoming game?
Well, the guys really didn't have to get up because it's homecoming. I mean, they were all, really excited about playing. The other thing is, from last year, we didn't have a real good showing against Arizona Christian last year, so there's a little motivation with that. So I didn't really have to motivate them for this team. And just the opportunity to play football. You only get 10 games a season guaranteed, and so there's not many. And so they're ready to go. There's no doubt about that.
Arizona Christian has made a statement this season as they try to defend their CFSL title. What is your plan to secure a win against them today?
We've got to be creative a little bit on offense. They've got a great defense, and then defensively, they've got 2 great receivers and a great quarterback, so we have to find somehow to contain them. And so that's what we're going to try to do, is limit their big play and kind of steal some possessions. So hopefully we can do that.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck today.
Thanks,
back to you, Rob.
Christian. Thanks, Coach. Time now for some storylines. Tim, we were kind of just shooting the breeze here on some other things that could be looking to watch for as this game unfolds today.
Well, one of the big things is usually, in college football, homecoming, you might want to schedule that team you can get the easy win against to impress the alumni.
I know.
ACU is not that easy team at all. They just in the 3rd year of existence, they are proving to be one of the best teams in the NAIA, definitely in the CSFL. Maybe watch today for that crowd to be an impact. It's never usually too big of a deal in this giant Lumpkin Stadium, but you got a lot of alumni here from 50 years ago. You got a lot of freshmen in the crowd. Maybe that combined power of 6 generations of SAGU students can really kind of power the Lions to a victory here today.
I'll be looking for King to lay claim to his crown, not the homecoming King. We're talking about Shapiro King. He's number 4 in the nation in return yards at 391. If the Firestorm are going to score a lot of points, maybe King can return the favor with some special team scores, or at least give the Lions good short field position.
And that field position could be huge because the Lions offense has been very effective this year. They're averaging 430 yards a game. ACU is giving up over 400 yards a game, so that could stay the same here for the Lions. The key to this, though, you got to get points at the end of those drives. No turnovers, trying to settle for field goals, get it in the end zone, and maybe turn this thing into a shootout and hang around to the very end.
That'd be fun to watch, wouldn't it? A little shootout. Let's go downfield and check in again with Chris, and she's with ACU head coach Jeff Bowen.
Thanks, Rob. It's great to have you here, Coach. But a long bus ride like that must have taken a toll on your team. What measures did you take to overcome a challenge like this?
Well, since we started our program 3 years ago, we've been traveling the country. So our guys actually look forward to the trips, a lot of team building and stuff like that. So we're used to it. It's just bus rides and buffets for us, and we just get ready for the next road game.
With the win today, you will maintain an undefeated record in your CFSL title. What is your plan to secure a win today?
Well, we just need to do what we do best, and that's be up-tempo on offense and be balanced, and then just keep flying around on defense like we've been doing, and just play hard, play our style of football, play storm ball. That's what we're going to do.
Thanks for your time today, Coach. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Coach Bowen, for your time. Thanks, Kristen. Now, some storylines for ACU, Tim. You mentioned the bus ride. I think it's 1,083 miles, to be exact, from their university to Waxahachie. Could that bus ride reduce the Firestorm to embers? Sorry, I couldn't resist. In the fourth quarter. Either way, look at it. It's a confined space, 16 hours. Maybe some biorhythms get mixed up. I don't know, but that is a long ride, irregardless of how good or bad you are. Now, last year on the road, the team, AC, was 4-1. But this year, they're 0-2, including a 20-7 loss in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to Davenport University.
That's a long haul getting up there to Michigan.
I assume they flew there.
Well, I would hope so. Man, that is a long bus ride. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that all works out. But the thing is, they are a very deep team. Just look at their rushing stats. They have run the ball 150 times this year, but 11 different people have had a carry. Thomas and Grenwell, we mentioned them earlier, they lead the way with 40 and 35 carries respectively. But still, the ability to have 11 guys that get the ball, whether that's pitchbacks, handoffs, just spread the work around. And when you do deal with things like travel fatigue after a 16-hour bus ride, that ability to give the ball to anybody could really be impactful today for the Firestorm.
Tim, do you think it could be a trap game? Last week, they won 34-10 convincingly over Langston. And ACU knows that these Lions are kind of licking their wounds from a really tough, heartbreaking loss in overtime against Lyon College, like a team they should have beat. Do you see potentially a trap game scenario for this road team today?
It's always there. You always talk about it when you have a team that you kind of see as a clear-cut favorite, like ACU is here today. Do they overlook their opponent? Do they think, oh, this should be easy? But you know what? After a 16-hour bus ride where all you've had to do is think about the Lions, and you do see the offensive stats, the Lions aren't going to sneak up on you with what they can do offensively. You would expect the Firestorm to be prepared mentally for the fact that they're on the road for another team's homecoming. They need to watch out.
Talk about how they're undefeated, too, in CSFL play.
It's amazing. Since they've joined the CSFL last year, they are 7-0 in conference
Undefeated.
play. Undefeated. They've run over everybody. Again, that win last week against Langston by 24 points. If you followed SAGU football for a long time, you know Langston is good. They are always good. So to trounce them like that is amazing. In those 7 wins, undefeated so far, the average margin of victory for the Firestorm has been 23 points a game. So they're not just a new kid on the block. They're the daddy of the block right now. They've come in, bought the whole block. It's monopoly as far as they're concerned. They own it all. So the Lions are going to be looking to try to stop the streak and be that hero that beats the new kid in the CSFL.
Speaking of block, maybe there's a block party below us. Let's check in with Kristen Urban, who I think is hanging out with some homecoming fans. Kristen?
Thanks, Rob. I'm down in the stand, and we are hyped. We are ready. We've been tailgating since 9. We had Chick-fil-A, face painting, everything. Are y'all ready? We are ready. We got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and we are ready for this win. Back to you, Rob.
You give Bible college kids some Chick-fil-A, man.
I think they had the Red Bull. They didn't give some of that to the Lions.
There was coffee out there. I did grab some coffee on the way in, but apparently they had 3 or 4 cups of it. I'm not that hyped yet, but the fans are, and that's great to see. Perfect day for football. You could not ask for much better for an October afternoon here in Waxahachie, Texas.
We'll take one more final quick break. We'll catch our breath. We'll be back with some closing thoughts. Stay with us right here on the SAGU Sports Network. We'll be right back. And welcome back inside our broadcast booth. He's Tim Roberts. I'm Rob Price. Kristen Urban, I think, is on break now. She is wore out. She is fired up down there. So Fans are rolling in for what's going to be a huge homecoming game, maybe a win today against a real tough team. Lions are looking to rebound from a really disappointing loss last week. Talk about what they did in the fourth quarter.
They had a 15-point lead in the last 5 minutes. A fumble by J.P. Lowry really cost them. A controversial two-point conversion. Again, I wasn't there. I can't judge what it was, but apparently a controversial two-point conversion to tie the game up. An overtime loss to Lyon College when you had the game what you felt like safely in hand. Remember that speech from Independence Day? Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July. Well, perhaps it's fate that today is October 9th, because 5 years ago today was one of the toughest losses in program history.
In collegiate football history,
one of the biggest. Yeah, the Lions lost a 38-3 lead in the last 18 minutes of a game against Bacone to lose. So you're coming off of a big blown lead last week. You're 5 years removed from one of the toughest days in program history. Maybe there's a little fate going on today. Try to wash the wound of last week and 5 years ago right here at Lumpkin Stadium today. It's going to be a big, big game. And this is kind of a make or break moment for your season. You know, you've already lost 3. Chances of looking at that victory bowl are getting real slim. You're starting a freshman quarterback. This, you kind of always can treat this as your Super Bowl, as your biggest game.
Yeah.
You're going against the best team in your conference. You've got nothing to lose. Storm out onto that field like that right there. Do the best you can and see if you can pull the biggest upset of the season.
I really think the 12th man you said could be a factor today. On the road, if the energy is there, the Lions get fired up. You know, the ball bounces here, ball bounces there, some turnovers. This team's been racked with turnovers. Tim, talk about if the returns are reduced, how that can make a difference today.
Well, we saw 2 weeks ago since Austin College, the defense forced 5 turnovers. If the offense hadn't committed 5 of their own, they'd have won that game by 25, 28 points. Instead, they ended up winning by 3, I think. So, you know, turnovers have been a big problem for this offense. What you expect when you're starting a freshman quarterback trying to learn the system. Reduce those turnovers, get a couple of those fumbles we talked about with ACU to bounce your way, stay in this game to the fourth quarter and hope the last play goes your way, and that's your recipe for pulling a big upset.
I think Kennitzer has got to step up and not play like a freshman anymore. He's got 3 or 4 games under his belt now. Maybe they'll let him throw downfield and try to hit Taurus Hill. He's been quiet a lot. We mentioned Justin Allen earlier. We'll see what Kennitzer can do now. It's his team now the rest of the season.
And weather won't be a factor today like it was 2 weeks ago where we had 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds that was kind of prohibiting what Kennitzer could do. No wind today, beautiful weather, beautiful day for football. Let's see if the Lions can sling it around.
Remember all your social media sites on SAGU Sports Network. There's a lot of them, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Vine, all that. Back with the kickoff. Let's play some football right here. We'll be right back on the SAGU Sports Network. Stay with us.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Are about to take the field. They're amped up. The crowd's amped up. Arizona Christian is ready to roll. They're wearing the away whites with the red letters. Of course, Lions in their home purple this afternoon. I should say this morning. Stand corrected. It's 11 a.m.
It is still in the a.m. here in Waxahachie. Lions will receive the opening kickoff. And game time temperature going to be hovering in the 60s. Isn't that a marvel? After our first game this year, I think game time kickoff was 96, 97 degrees. And our friends from Arizona Christian, they can understand that, I'm sure, coming all the way from Phoenix. It's a dry heat out there, though, but it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for both teams as the Lions' homecoming 2016 football game here at Lumpkin Stadium about to get underway.
Derek Brush, the junior out of Whittier, California, is set to kick off for the Firestorm, led by head coach Jeff Allen. We are underway at Lumpkins. It's a short kick fielded at the 9-yard line. And a little pitch back. I believe that's Bickham, gives it over to Morgan, who fumbles the ball and picked up thankfully, by one of the Lions. That is Landon Jones on the recovery.
That was almost disastrous. The Firestorm did not buy the fake at all. It took a little bit too long to develop. Still almost sprung for some yards before the ball got poked loose, and that would have been a terrible way to start when you're already playing with fire, pardon the pun.
It's going to be there all day, isn't it?
It's going to be unintentional, too, I promise you. And so Lincoln Kinnitzer takes the field for the Lions.
We'll mark it at the 31-yard line.
Kinnitzer starting his 4th game at quarterback.
In the shotgun. He'll keep it himself, rolls far side, slips down to the 35-yard line on the keeper by Kinnitzer.
And talk about some great pursuit there from Chris Oatman. He was hustling all the way across the field, never let Kinnitzer find the corner, and he's the one who eventually gets the tackle. Not a bad little run there for the 260-pound lineman.
Kinnitzer goes to the air, pass caught at the 40. That is going to be Taurus Hill on the reception.
And that was a dangerous throw. Orlando Thompson, number 6, almost had a jump on that ball, but it slipped just in between before he could get to it.
After this play, we'll give you our starting lineups. But first, it is 2nd and 10. Man in motion, and now a whistle. So with that whistle, we'll give you our starting lineups as there's a penalty against the Lions. Now to bring up 2nd down and 15. Handoff up the middle. I believe that was Ricky Bickham on the carry. One Lion slow to get up, Tim. Number 61, Dwayne Macklin, but he's back on his feet.
And it was Lowry with the carry, kind of picking his way for a few yards. Brings up 2nd and about 13.
Kinnitzer looks right, throws right, pass caught. And that is Carr trying to steer clear of the defender. Gets down to the 49-yard line.
Does a good job picking up a few extra yards after the catch to set up a more manageable 3rd down. Now you're looking around 3rd and 5, and this is a big one right here if you want to get an early strike against the Firestorm.
Kinnitzer in the pistol again. Screen pass caught complete. And that's going to be a loss of about 2 yards. I believe that's Bickham on the catch, but that went nowhere.
And yeah, it went nowhere fast. I think it was Corey Hurd who had the initial contact behind the line of scrimmage.
That was actually Lowry on the catch.
Yeah, Lowry on the catch, and Hurd was the first one to get to him, but there's 3 or 4 more Arizona Christian Firestorm defenders right behind him, so the Lions will have to punt.
2 receivers back near the 10-yard line. So the first possession comes up empty for the Lions. A chance now to see this high-powered offensive ball club that averages, like we said in pregame, 78 plays a game, Tim Roberts.
That is impressive, as the ball will be fair caught at around 11. That's an impressive stat, to be sure, and that means the Lions defense is going to have to be quick. And now the advantage can be if you can find a way to force those stops, you get them off the field quickly, and you can wear down the opponent's defense. You mentioned Chip Kelly in the pregame. Well, that's always been Chip Kelly's team's problems, is that when his offense goes 3 and out, his defense gets devastated. So if the Lions defense can make a couple of quick stops, force a couple of 3 and outs, maybe, just maybe, that can play into their advantage on offense.
We'll be watching number 6 today, Donovan Smith. And there's a little run up the middle. After the handoff, the quarterback actually threw a little fake toward a screen pass, but the ball was already being rushed up the middle.
As Keenan Thomas just going straight into the teeth of the Lions defense, if you can call it that right now, the way they're playing up front.
Pass caught in the flat. Still on his feet is Brandon Hunter.
And he's going to end up settling for just about a 1-yard gain after all of that. And you see the hurry-up offense. Immediately, no huddle, 4 wide, and they are ready to go on 2nd down.
Single setback right of Greenwald. And carry up the middle. Just kind of plows through that first line of defense down to the 35-yard line.
That's again Thomas, and the Lions had him hit after about 2 yards, but he carried him for about 4 more, and it's going to set up about a 3rd and, let's call it 3 here.
I would say running down, but the way the Firestorm like to throw, they do like to run, and the Lions are going to stop them first. It was Matt Leiter holding him up, and the Lions came to the rescue and tagged him for a 2-yard loss.
Big stop there after a couple of big plays. And the Lions were able to blow it up, get the runner behind the line of scrimmage, and not let him escape.
The junior from Katy, Texas with the stop. Jeremy Polote back set to receive the punt. I think Allen's back there as well. Fair catch. Actually hits the ground running. So now there's going to be a flag because the receiver called for a fair catch. The ball hit the ground, bounced a few times, and then Polote elected to run. I don't think that's allowed.
No, it's not. He called for the fair catch, and even if the ball bounces, it doesn't matter. If you've called for the fair catch, once you touch it, the play is dead. When you take off running like that, it is going to be a penalty on the Lions. Wait for the call right here.
Delay of game. Well, interesting. They call that a delay of game. Very interesting way to kind of put that in a parameter of a penalty.
And that's essentially what it is, because when you do that, you're trying to coax the other team maybe into hitting you. There's no good word for what that penalty is. It's almost the idea is that you're trying to fool the other team. You're trying to try something unfair. So it's an interesting penalty, but it cost the Lions 5 yards to start the drive off. It'll still be 1st and 10 though at the 24-yard line.
An end around. There's some space. Now around the right side. Down to the 33-yard line. Chaz Moncrief seeing action for the first time in weeks. Chaz, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, with a nice pickup.
We've already seen the Lions go into their bag of tricks in this one on the opening kickoff. They had the kind of end around pitch back. Same play right there. Picks up 9 yards. The Lions are looking for anything to get going here.
Chaz, man in motion. Going for it all. He's got a man open. Oh, and just broken away at the last second by Orlando Thompson. Great defense by the DB on the far left side.
Yeah, Thompson does a great job just hanging with the receiver, causing that, just causing enough, of where the ball was placed in a pretty good spot.
It was a good throw.
It was a good throw, but the receiver just could not double back for it well enough.
Brings up 3rd and 1. And the Lions will get enough on forward progress for the 1st down.
Yeah, that's J.P. Lowry just gashing up the middle, finding the first full hole he sees, and don't worry about trying to break a big one there. Just keep the drive going. Now the Lions kind of going no huddle now too, trying to match what they've seen from the Firestorm so far.
5 receivers, 4 now man in motion to bounce out the field, and it's be a Kennitzer on the keeper, and he's going to lose a couple.
I don't think that was supposed to be Kennitzer on the keeper either. Defense just gashed through that Lions offensive line, and Kennitzer, knowing he wouldn't have time to hand it off or throw it, just said, let's minimize the damage here, and it's a loss of 2 on first down, setting up a 2nd and 12.
And Lions going with a no huddle as well, which we've seen more this season anyway, with all the signage on the sidelines. You're seeing a lot of ball clubs going with no huddle. That was a bad snap and a bad A-block gap stopper, and that was a huge sack by the Firestorm.
I believe it was number 46 with the sack for the Firestorm, and yeah, from the moment that ball got snapped, sorry, it was 48. Will Johnson gets the sack. Yeah, if it even had been a good snap, I don't think Kennitzer was going to get rid of that ball.
That's just a missed blocking assignment, Tim.
Johnson came through untouched.
4 receivers up top of your screen, now man in motion. That's Lowry, and
it's Johnson again.
Oh my gosh, Firestorm just moving the ball the other way. A huge loss. That's going to pin the Lions deep in their own territory. They're going to be punting near the end zone.
William Johnson on back-to-back plays just destroys his man up front and sends the Lions for 2 huge losses.
Chad Deeren set the punt at his own 8-yard line. Gets this one safely away, a big booming kick. Fielded at the 26-yard line. Still on his feet, rumbles down to the 31-yard line. Nice stretch defense by the Lions on that punt return coverage to quickly track down the returner.
So now we're halfway through the first quarter. The Lions and Firestorm have now exchanged punts. Lions punted twice, Firestorm once. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out. You kind of feel like you see this a lot, especially with teams that are still relatively new. This is only the 2nd time they've ever met. The Lions, while you want to be aggressive and go get points, you also know the last thing you can have is a mistake early on. What's been most impressive is seeing the Firestorm up front, just dominating that line of scrimmage so far on defense. Lions offensive line needs to find some solutions for that, but first it's the defense, a chance to get them off the field.
Firestorm elect to run it again. Down to the left side, down to the 36-yard line. The Lions able to keep pace with the rusher. That was number 13, DeMario Fair on the carry.
Yeah, and they do a good job stretching them out to prevent any big game, but even so, they had enough of a bubble in front of them that's still a 4 or 5 yard gain, setting up around a 2nd and 6 here.
Lions show a soft cover 2. There's a pass in the flat. Down to the 40-yard line.
Going to be just shy of the first down as he fights through a couple of leg tackles. And it's number 20, Streeter Turner. And he's just getting two Lions try to trip him up. He fights through them both, set up a 3rd and 1.
Lions will rush forward. Now maybe 5. They show blitz. Eastwood, number 7, inching towards line of scrimmage. This is the longest we've seen before the ball's been snapped by the Firestorm all game long. And Eastwood right there in the middle, but not enough to prevent, I should say, another Firestorm first down.
And already so far, we're seeing a lot of great runs after the initial contact from the Firestorm. They turned what was a gain of 1 into 5, and Lions are going to get flagged for 2 men on the field.
They couldn't get off in time, Tim, and this is a free play for the Firestorm. Greenwald takes it himself down to the 40. I saw the lineman. He literally could not get off the field fast enough.
Massive confusion on the Lions defense there. They'll be able to decline this penalty because they picked up all the yards they needed to not need it. But the Lions defense wasn't even set after the flag was thrown.
They are going to have to really keep up with the speed of this game, Tim. That's how the Firestorm gets you out of sorts early on defense.
We have an illegal substitution on the defense. 12 players on the field. That penalty is declined. Would you please stop the clock? And please reset the clock to 6:01. 6:01, please, on the clock.
So ACU will have it in Lions territory. They're going to put 6 minutes and change back on the clock.
Thank you.
Yet to see Greenwald target his #1 receiver, Donovan Smith, yet. It could be because Carl Morgan, he's on the bottom of your screen, number 16 versus number 6 there, bottom of your screen. Now you see Morgan giving plenty of space. Greenwald goes the other way. He's got a man open, and he underthrows both the receiver and the defender. Pass intended for Anthony, I checked that, Jonathan Parks.
And Elijah Pruitt almost had a shot at interception here because this ball is definitely underthrown as you see it tracking across here. Elijah Pruitt just really can't get his head turned around. He knows it as soon as the play is over that he had a shot to pick that one off around the 1 or 2 yard line.
Derek Hughes checked that on the intended receiver. There's a run up the middle. The Lions allowing those extra 2 to 3 yards at the point of impact was back at the 38, but he got down to the 34, Tim.
Yeah, and I believe that was Justin Carroll. He's the fullback, just pounding his way through, and so far the yards after the initial contact has been big for the Firestorm, both in picking up first downs and making manageable third downs like this right here.
Greenwald looking to run. Now he was looking to pass, and there was that pass rush forced Garrett to take off with his feet. He got maybe a couple. That'll bring up 4th down.
And credit Matt Leiter with that one. After the pocket broke down, he was able to pursue and stop the first down. It's going to be 4th and 3, and the Firestorm will be going for it here.
On the keeper, he's going to get the first down and more, down to the 26-yard line. That was a read option. He elected to pull it back when he saw the Lions up the middle were able to contain that rush. He pulled it back and took it around the right side himself.
And the Lions were selling out in the box there to try to stop a run up the middle. That's what all that impact run up the middle will do, is it forces you to crash inside.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he faked the handoff, it was an easy first down.
There's a handoff up the middle, and again, you see the initial contact and then more yardage for ACU. And right now, the battle, really all battles in football are begin and end at the line of scrimmage, and right now ACU is showing their muscle early on.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of, again, picking up those extra yards. Credit the running backs, though. They're getting hit early on, and they're fighting through those hits to pick up the extra yardage.
Greenwald, right side, looking for all of it. Got a man, and does he hold on?
Incomplete.
Wow, I thought he did, but he did not hold on.
Laid it right into Anthony Guevara's hands. I believe it was Anthony Guevara.
I think that was Hughes, Derek Hughes. We'll double check that, but either way, let's take a look at this. I thought he came down with it, Tim. It is Hughes. 1, 2. I guess you got to carry through the.
Well, it looked like from that angle that Elijah Pruitt helped punch the ball out.
Pass caught in the flat.
And a great
And Lions
tackle.
stop him, which is going to force a 4th down. We'll see now, will the Firestorm go for it again, or will they elect to kick a field goal?
This is a big-time tackle right here. You see from the bottom of your screen coming in, number 22, Cody Page.
4th and 5. That was Carroll in the rush. 4th and 5 now, Tim. Boy, the Firestorm now twice in the same drive, going for it on 4th down. Pass is incomplete. He was looking for Carroll on the left side flat, and the Lions hold serve.
And Ethan Eastwood is the one who gets the pressure on Greenwald here and forces the errant pass. Otherwise, he had an open man. It would have been an easy first down, but Ethan Eastwood, one of the biggest anchors on this defense at all times, applies the pressure that forces the incompletion. And so the Lions hold the Firestorm at their own 22-yard line, a drive that seemed destined for points. The Lions defense bends, does not break, and keeps Arizona Christian scoreless.
And one thing we've not seen yet is a pass even thrown in the direction of Donovan Smith. Credit Carl Morgan on some outstanding man-to-man defense as a cornerback. There's a pass caught, far left side. And there's some more yards after impact. Now the Lions begin to muscle up a little bit, down to the 24-yard line.
That play wasn't going anywhere at all fast. The defensive line for the Firestorm crashed that offensive line. Kinchers has to get rid of it. And because he had to throw it kind of awkwardly, the ball was not able to get there fast enough, and the receiver just had no choice but to kind of cut back inside and stay alive for a yard or two.
That was Pittman on the catch. Now, meanwhile, looks like a Firestorm player is injured near the 30-yard line. Wait and see who that is.
Appears like it might be Chris Oatman. I believe it might be Chris Oatman from this vantage point. He's the junior defensive lineman. He had the big tackle on the first drive that prevented what could have been a much bigger play for Lincoln Kinnitzer.
Let's go down somewhere in the stands with Kristen Urban. Kristen, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. Dr. Hayes, you come to every sporting event. Are you that much of a sports fan, or does something else compel you to come?
You know, I do love sports, but I love the students at SAGU even more, and I like to be at the things that they enjoy being at and where they perform. So whether it's a sporting event or a drama or anything, I like to be a part of it.
Since you are the chair for practical theology, why is this such an important department?
We've got the best faculty members probably any place in the country. All of them have their terminal degrees. They are great in their field, and it's just a great place to learn ministry. I say, when you think vocational ministry, think SAGU.
Thanks, Dr. Hayes. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Dr. Hayes. You see a rush on the left side, a pickup of maybe a couple.
Ricky Bickham going to set up 3rd and 6, and Dr. Clancy Hayes.
Did you ever have him when you were a student?
Yes, I did. Authentic Christianity. Authentic Christianity. I got an A, so I like him.
There you go. 3rd and 6 now. Kinnitzer, 3-step drop, caught far right side down to the 31-yard line. That is Chaz Moncrief again.
He fights, but he's not going to have enough for the first down. He's going to be marked down just short.
Okay, so now does Frank Tristan then play the Chip Kelly game and go for it on 4th down like we saw the Firestorm do?
You can't at this point. You've got to like the fact that your defense has made 2 stops, and you do see the punting unit come out there. If this ball was at maybe the 46, 47.
Maybe you think about it. Yeah.
But at the 31, if you don't get it, you're giving free points to Arizona Christian, and so they are going to punt it away here. Watch for the fake, though. It looks like the Lions might be teasing the Firestorm into thinking they might try a fake here. The Firestorm are stacking the middle, though.
Low snap. Deeren able to field it. Fair caught at the 25-yard line.
And the Firestorm did play kind of a prevent punt rush there. They didn't commit many people to actually block the punt. They dropped back and stayed in that area, knowing that the Lions might be thinking fake. That may be one of those times, too, that you kind of give the option, like, hey, if you get the ball and all of a sudden you look and everyone's rushing you and you see the guy open over there, toss it to him and see what happens. But the Lions do punt it away, so it's their 3rd punt of the game. Recapping the drives, the Lions have punted 3 times. Arizona Christian punted on their first and had a turnover on down to the Lions 22 on their second. As we are now around 2 minutes left here in the first quarter, still scoreless.
26-yard line where this drive begins. Pickup of 1 on the carry. And look at these Firestorm, the Firestorm, get at it again. Almost no delay. That was Quinta Thomas on the carry.
And this kind of hurry-up offense just comes down to practice. The guys, it's almost like being part of a marching band. You just know how to get to your spot immediately as soon as the play's over. You have to be so well trained to know exactly how to run this kind of hurry-up offense.
Around the left side, got outside the tackle, and looked like there may have been a loose ball, but
Quinta Thomas appeared to fumble it. We mentioned that pregame. They fumble a lot. They just don't lose it. We watched the replay here. Quinta Thomas running up, and he does lose the ball.
A great
loses
strip.
the ball, but It's a first down for the Firestorm as they again get on another one of their own fumbles. The ball just keeps bouncing their way this year. That's 10 fumbles, but only 3 fumbles lost.
There's the first target to Smith, and Morgan right there to push him out of bounds, a pickup of maybe 2. Check that 4.
That was a good job by Morgan to immediately apply the pressure and not let their big-time receiver break one big.
There's a run around the right side, gashing into the secondary of the Lions and into Lions territory.
And as soon as
Matt Williams on the tackle.
Matt Williams on the tackle, but as soon as Kington got that ball, he had his little gap and took it. Lions just couldn't pursue fast enough. He's able to get a couple of yards after the impact and get a nice gain.
And Grenwald hits a wall, backs up, pulls the Mike Allstott, regroups, gets another few extra yards.
Hey, like I said, that's the thing about the Firestorm so far. That's why their drives have worked. They haven't been able to score yet. But even on the plays that you would call busted plays to some degree, they still get 2 yards. That's the kind of play that can put you behind the chains to start the drive off. 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. Instead of 2nd and 8, you brush it off and drop another good play.
Right near midfield, 2nd and 8. Grenwald in the shotgun, finds a man right side, pass complete. Just enough for another Arizona Christian first down.
And that should be the last play, I would imagine, of the first quarter, unless Arizona Christian has a quick snap on them.
Thomas on the catch.
Clock is running, and that is it. So we do reach the end of the first quarter with Arizona Christian again. And SAGU into the field, the 35-yard line with a 1st and 10 upcoming.
Okay.
But a scoreless ball game.
I was going to say, Tim, okay, so break down what you've seen so far. Lions, I mean, you've got 4 or 5 straight punts back and forth. You got to be happy if you're 0-0 and you're the Lions right now.
I mean, obviously, in a game where you know you're the clear-cut underdog, we were actually talking pregame about how maybe you want to turn this game into a shootout. Well, it might actually be the opposite right now. Maybe find a way to disrupt this offense. Bend, don't break, hold the field goals, make big 4th down stops, and you know you can keep this game low scoring. It's whatever way you can find a way to win. You see a presentation out on the field right there, I believe with some SAGU football alumni.
His dedication, perseverance, and coaching allowed the football program to survive in the first 2 years of existence. Every future team and player is indebted to Coach Allen for taking on the task of beginning SAGU's football program.
That's great to see. Legacy, you see Coach John Allen there on the far left side. Was here for many years as one of the coordinators.
Holding up that
coaches.
That 96 jersey. I do believe that was the year that the Lions started playing football around here. So still a rather recent program when you look back on it like that. Not nearly as recent as Arizona Christian, though, just in their 3rd year.
And SAGU football alumni, class of 1996.
So now we start up 2nd quarter, and again, this is another big test for the Lions defense. Can you find a way to keep a touchdown off the board, keep this a low-scoring affair?
Eric Grenwald looks downfield, got a man in the open, just overthrew him.
Just sailed a bit on Alias Sturgis. I mean, that was a perfect route. He had his defenders beat by 2 or 3 steps. Grenwald just puts a little too much mustard on this one.
Too much air, yeah.
Sturgis can't go up and get it. Otherwise, that is a walk-in touchdown.
So what's Alias's real name? 2nd down and 10. Grenwald on the keeper. Well, he does a good job of selling the handoff and just yanks it back in and makes sure the defensive end commits left into the scrum, and he pulls it back out and gets about an 8-yard pickup.
And he threw a strong stiff arm. It was more than that because it was a 1st down and another quick play. This is going to be a handoff to, I think, DeMario Fair. You mentioned how many different players they have who will touch the ball behind the line of scrimmage.
Grenwald looking left, looking right, throws right, pass caught underneath. Down to the 10-yard line. That is Dejon Staten, junior out of Imperial, California, on the reception.
And again, these little 2 or 3 yard pickups after every single catch, after every single impact, are just starting to take their toll. And now 1st and 10 at the 11 for the Firestorm.
9th play of the drive. Thomas tackled at the 10-yard line. What I see happening here is the Lions, if they don't start making some stops here, that defense is going to get tired. You see if one player loses helmet. The Lions defense is okay now, but if this pace keeps up, I think fatigue could be a factor early.
And you see the Lions with their defense just on the sideline, ready to go with substitutions as fast as they can get them.
Greenwald got a man in the middle. Touchdown, Firestorm. That is number 1, alias Sturgis, on the reception.
And again, he just dominates his men from the line. The moment that Greenwald lets go of this one, Sturgis is wide open. Perfect pass. Just not much that Carl Morgan could do on that one. So now the PAT attempt coming up for Arizona Christian as they are able to finally strike first with 13.5 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Ten plays, 74 yards, capped off by a 10-yard reception by Sturgis, has given the visiting team, the undefeated CSFL team, ACU, a 7-0 lead. So if you're the Lions offense, I would think you want to run the ball to some degree so you can give your defense some rest. And if you're going to throw the ball, maybe don't throw it towards the sidelines. So if you do catch the ball, you want that clock to keep running, to give, and your drives to keep going in real time, I should say, to give that defense some rest.
At this point, that is going to be a big factor because the defense was able to make the stop on the second drive, but still a long drive. They were out there for a long time. The Lions offense has been quick off the field on most of their drives. If you can put together a sustained drive right here, you see another replay of this. Just a beautiful pass.
He just beat Morgan.
What Greenwald didn't have on the pass earlier in the drive, he had perfectly there, right in stride. Yeah, this could be a very big drive for the Lions offense. Try to get down the field, eat some clock, run some time off so the defense can sit on that bench
in real time. They need to have some rest real time, Tim.
And obviously, if you can go down and tie this game up, that wouldn't be bad either. But just for the long-term impact of this game, another 3 and out right now and throwing that defense right back out there is going to be very tough on this SAGU D.
Kickoff by Brush. And looks like the Lions are going to field it out of the end zone. He's got some running room, still on his feet. Down to 35, he got 2 men to beat. Cuts back inside, spins, turns. That's Shapiro King. We mentioned him in pregame, and he gives the Lions a really good starting field position.
That was a crazy kick return. He caught it over his shoulder, around 3 or 4 yards deep in the end zone. Looked like he should have just taken the knee. You know, the coach is
7 yards deep, Tim.
He's probably screaming, take the knee, take the knee. He even hesitates right here and then just, I think I can do this. And honestly, sometimes that's exactly what you need. The kicking team gets overcommitted because you've taken so long to get out. He does a great job of finding his lane, spinning through, and the Lions will set up shop at Arizona Christian's 48-yard line. That is just what the doctor ordered when it comes to trying to tie this one up. A short field for the Lions offense.
Kennitzer going for all of it. He's got a man open. Oh, pass caught, complete. Is he in bounds? I believe he was. That is Jeremy Carr on the catch.
And another receiving battle won at the line of scrimmage. He just breaks off and is open for the moment. Kennitzer lays it in. Good pass by Kennitzer. Could have overthrown that one easily, but lays it in perfect.
36-yard catch. Lions looking to tie it up. It's Lowry down inside the 5-yard line. 36-yard precision pass by Lincoln Kennitzer has put the Lions on the cusp of tying this thing up.
And Lowry does a great job of stretching that field, finding the hole, and picking up the yards they need. 2nd and 3.
Allen in motion. Kinnitzer stutter steps and rambles down to the 4-yard line, maybe the 3-yard line. It'll be 3rd and they can actually pick up a first down, Tim. I was going to say 3rd and goal. It's about 3rd and 2.
It's going to be 3rd and 2. The Lions going hurry up here. There's a lot of space out there.
Kinnitzer.
And he's
keeps
not,
it himself, gets nothing.
He's not going to get it. No, he might have picked up half a yard. That's the kind of play you run on 3rd and 1, not 3rd and 2. And now the Lions have a big choice.
Wow, what do you do here?
You know, I don't think there is much of a choice. Wow. I don't even see the kicking team stirring. When you're going against Arizona Christian,
you're going to have to put points on the board.
Field goals won't beat touchdowns.
That's exactly right. I like the call. I like it. The crowd on their feet. The Lions football team on the sidelines urging the crowd to get on their feet.
Now they better watch this here. The play clock is down to under 10 seconds. They're going to have to use a timeout.
They're going to have to burn one.
They're going to have to use a timeout.
Think it over. Make sure you get the right personnel on the field.
They do a call timeout. The coordinators finally say, all right, let's get over here. Let's get over here. Let's talk this out instead of trying to communicate in the play. Now this is a big moment. The ball is being marked right at the 3-yard line. It is 4th and 2.
But you can pick up a first down.
Pick up a first down. Like I said, in a game like this, when you know who you're going against with Arizona Christian, you know that what they did in their last drive is what they expect to do today.
Right.
You can't afford to walk up there and kick a field goal. Congratulations, 3 points. Doesn't matter. You're about to be down 2 scores possibly. You got to keep it to where the most it can be is a 1-score game. Looking at Kinnitzer so far today, 6 for 7 for 55 yards. We were talking about the time for him to step up, not be that rookie anymore. And he's looking good so far, especially on that pass to Carr.
We saw Collins do this in his freshman year. A couple games in, he just got it. He figured out how to play at this level, and he just took off.
But there is some element to that. Just getting some under your belt, getting that confidence factor going, understanding the speed of the college game. So the Lions.
Let's see who's in here. We got Lowry in here, of course.
Interesting to see what kind of package they run here. Do you run a jumbo package? Do you spread some players out wide? They'll run 2 men out.
Allen and Hill on the left side. Kinnitzer gives it to JP.
It's going to be
so close.
I don't think he got it. I do not think he got it.
Let's see where they mark it. Let's see where they mark it.
Lowry was hoping to get it on the extra
This is going to be within a few inches. They're going to bring the chains out. Let's take a look and see where he went down.
Oh, it's tough from that angle. Again, you guys got such a scrum. From where they've marked the ball.
It is going to be within a matter of inches. If our camera guys are going to close up with this, you're going to see this. There's going to be a couple of chain links, I guarantee you. When we see these chains line up on the edge of this, the nose of this football, it is going to be.
Judging by the placement, I think it's going to be close, but not quite enough. I think he's going to be maybe around 6 inches short. The chains extend.
At the first. No, hold on. Did they get it? The Lions are cheering, but so is ACU.
The refs are literally having to.
It's literally right on. Looks like to be right on the nose of the football. This is a huge call.
We're still waiting on the call.
Let's hear the call.
The refs have not indicated either way yet. It looks like the Lions' offense is staying on. It is a first down. Wow. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
It must have been literally
on the edge
you
of
see
the
nose of the football right there. It is touching the white hash mark. That is what they had to have. So it was a first down. Literally by the speckle of the football that you have right there.
It had to have been. This is perfect because now more real time running off the clock.
Maybe he squeezed the football while he was down there and it elongated a little bit.
Yeah, possibly. Lowry barrels his way forward inside the 1-yard line now.
And now this is going to be down at around the half-inch line.
This is perfect for the Lions. The clock's running. Real time, of course, is running. And the Lions still have the ball. It's going to be Lowry, spins, turns, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions! Yes, sir!
And Lowry just, again, he only needed a few inches, and all he had to do was just find that corner, push his way in. And the big kickoff return by Shapiro King leads to the touchdown drive for the Lions. And now it's Chad Deeren coming out to try to knot this one up. Again, after going down 7-0, this is exactly what you needed. Deeren's kick is up, and it is good. Lions tie it up 7 apiece. Thanks to some, it's so cliche, a game of inches, but my goodness, what a game of inches this drive was. As Lowry, he needed 2 yards, and he got 1 yard, 35.99999 inches, and then he landed on the ball, which squeezed it a little bit. Tom Brady knows how to, deflate the balls enough to make them.
He's good at that.
And just, pushed it out just enough to where that was the first down. You don't get much closer than that. And then able to punch it in from about 2 inches out. Big response from the Lions, and it started on the Shapiro King kickoff when it looked like he should have just taken a knee and set up the ball at the 25. Instead, he went for it all. And you know what? That's what you got to do in a game like this. Take the risks for the big return. Take the risks on the 4th and 2.
Yes.
There can't be any blinking. There can't be any conservative play calling. There can't be any, we'll try to get them next time. You got to get them now if you want to hang with the Firestorm today.
Drive took 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Capped by 1 yard run by Lowry. 6 plays, 48 yards. And with 10:48 left in the first half, the Lions are right there with the Firestorm. 7-7 here at Lumpkins.
And while the drive only took 2 minutes in football time, it took around 10 minutes in real time.
So that is important,
Big for the defense. They got to do some breathing, get some Gatorade, and get back out on the field.
And they do hand it off. One returner gets it to another one, and he spins, turns, still on his feet, down to the 40. And now you're seeing the Firestorm do what the Lions did to them a moment ago with great field position. However, there is a flag.
This is coming back. There was about as clear of a hold as you can get. The player was being held and was throwing his hands up in the air, screaming for the flag. We'll see if you can catch it on the replay here. Good misdirection. Watch this, fighting through. He should have been down here.
Yes, sir. That would
Great return by Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
And you see the hold right there. Yeah, you got jerseys pulled over, pads. Now, we do have another flag late. Now, could this be a late hit on the Lions? There was a hit out of bounds. We do have another flag down around the Lions' 34-yard line, so we have 2 flags in play here. So it could be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the hold, and then 15 yards after, we'll get the confirmation from the man in the white hat here.
Lions are walking back.
Holding on the Lions. So that will be the only flag. The other flag must have, oh no, here it is, dead ball personal foul. He takes a while to say what he wants to say. So it will be a holding penalty on the Lions from the spot of the foul. So that's minus 10 yards from about what was about the 34-yard line, and then 15 yards for the Firestorm for the late hit on the Lions. I thought I might have seen that as the player was going out of bounds. As again, I believe it was Donovan Smith on the return, getting knocked out of bounds a little bit late. So the Firestorm will set up with good field position around the 38. In the end, the Lions win that penalty exchange for sure, because it was going to be 1st and 10 and around their own 30.
That was the biggest play Smith's had. We thought he'd be more active as a receiver, but he returned that one. Great athletic job by him, but like you said, penalties have pushed him back inside their own half of the field. 10:29 left in the first half. Head coach Frank Tristan has got to be happy with what he is seeing right now out of his defense, and now a spark on the offensive side. So here we go. Renwald sets a man in motion. Back to pass. Pocket collapses, rushes right. He's in trouble, stays on his feet. Squares his shoulders, throws it. And somehow a Firestorm receiver comes down with it. It's number 89, Tyler Duncan, on the catch.
And we have a flag come in here late, but what a play by Grinwald, staying alive for so long and gunning into the receiver. We'll see what the call is here now. As you see Grinwald just pulling some Donovan McNabb level stuff back here. Back in his heyday, just breaking tackles on the run, steadies his feet, fires in a rocket. Wait for the call, though.
Oh, there's a late hit right there, number 3. Jonathan Parks just leveled one of the Lions DBs, and they're going to bring it back to the 50-yard line.
So it's still going to be a first down, and since the dead ball foul, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 50. So penalties definitely hurting the Firestorm on this drive so far. After a big play, it doesn't erase the play entirely. The play was big enough that it doesn't erase it entirely, but it does move the ball back to midfield.
Low snap, pass caught, and the flat down to the 38-yard line. That is Duncan again. That's 2 straight targets from Garrett Grinwald to Tyler Duncan. Duncan's a junior out of Redding, California, transfer from Shasta College.
And once he got that, there was nothing but daylight ahead of him. Picked up 12, 13 yards when it looked like that's the kind of play that you should pick up 4 or 5. Another penalty on the Firestorm here, though. False start. And you're talking about penalties. They are coming into this game number 3.
5-yard penalty.
In penalties. They commit a lot of penalties. They average around 90 yards in penalties a game. So that has been an issue for them coming into this game, the amount of penalties that they commit. And 3 on this drive so far have definitely cost them.
And here's Grinwald looking left side. He overthrew intended receiver. I believe that was that Scott Kuhn?
Now another dangerous throw. Cody Page just got a little bit out of position. He was obviously trailing the receiver. If he could have doubled back a little bit, that could have been an interception as Kenneser again just overthrows his man. We've seen him do that a couple of times, and it was in fact Scott Kuhn on the intended receiver.
Grinwald underneath on a slant pattern.
Ethan Eastwood.
Yeah.
That play had all the makings of another big play after a little dump-off pass. He has the blockers. He's going to follow them, but Ethan Eastwood gets a shoelace, so holds it to a gain of 2, and it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 13 now for the Firestorm with the Lions 40.
Grinwald looking left. He's in trouble. Sheds off one would-be tackler. And a loss on the play.
Eastwood again.
Yes, sir. Justin Carroll caught the ball, but he had no way to run. Look at this little shove off by Grinwald to elude a sack, but then that was it. Lions, led by Eastwood, wrapped up. The receiver brings up a 4th down, and the first punt we've seen of the game by Arizona Christian.
And to get to it in a moment here, but talk about penalties really hurting you on that drive. We'll recap it exactly what happened on that drive again here in just a moment.
Check that 3rd punt. Sorry about that, the 3rd punt. I'm so used to them scoring so many points. That's going to be perfectly, it almost was perfect. It took a wrong bounce. It landed at the 3-yard line.
But you recap now the Firestorm's penalty woes on that drive. Initially, they have the kickoff down to the Lions' 30-yard line around that area, but it gets called back on a hold. It's always hard to tell exactly how important the hold was, how much it impacted it. That brings it back. They get a big play to pick up a first down. Late 15-yard penalty moves the ball back to the 50. Pick up another first down. False start makes it 1st and 15. So hard to do the math there, but a lot of penalties on that drive.
Quickly down to Kristen Urban. You are with, I believe, Hank Moore.
The volleyball team played in Oklahoma last night. Tell us about the match.
Well, we had a great match last night with University of Science and Arts, and we beat them in 3 straight sets, had some great play from a lot of young kids. Right now, we're playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores, but we had a great night last night.
A little birdie told me you coached SAGU Lions football. How did that happen?
Well, I played football all through college, and there was a time where our football was struggling. We didn't have very many kids, and we only had 2 coaches. And President Bridges asked me if I would step in and help coach 1 year, made a 1-year commitment, and we did that.
Thanks for your time, Coach Moore. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Christian. Thanks, Coach. And what you saw during the interview, Torres Hill almost came down with a huge catch.
That's 6. If that ball,
that hurts just watching it.
Slightly overthrown, but if it hits your hands, catch it. Torres Hill almost went for 6, but 3rd and 8 now.
Fires one over the head and arms of intended receiver. I think that was Allen on the intended receiver.
And that's what you don't want to do. Quick 3 and out for the Lions, and you're going to put your defense right back out there after they made a great stop. As the Firestorm have now made 3 trips to the Lions end of the field, but only come away with 7 points. Credit the defense for that. But they're having to get out. You see them standing up off the bench right now on the sideline, putting their helmets back on, saying, let's do this again.
It's actually a car in the intended receiver. Pass attempt by Kenneser. Now a punt from Deeren inside his own 10-yard line with 7:48 left in the first half. Not a great kick by Deeren standards. Fair caught at the 48-yard line.
So it's going to give Arizona Christian, again, very good starting field position at around their own 43. Punt's going to net you at a 40-yard range. So not a terrible punt, but definitely with Deeren, we've come to expect, that clutch, 50, 60-yard punt from time to time. So it's up to the Lions defense again as we are almost at the halfway mark of the second quarter now. And you got to be happy with only giving up 7 points to this high-powered offense.
Yeah, Deeren number 5 in the nation in punt yards per attempt at 42.
So right at his average. Obviously, averages mean you have a couple of bad ones and a couple of great ones in there, too.
Here's a blitz. Oh, he eludes the blitz and gets the ball off to Thomas. And you saw the linebacker.
And Greenwald
come in and nearly took out Greenwald's head.
Identifies the jailbreak here. Takes a little move around, settles his feet. Now, honestly, his feet weren't set. Great throw considering that.
Quindale Daniels nearly sacked Greenwald. Now back to live action. Ball down to the 40-yard line. Clock is running.
The Lions not afraid to bring it right now. They're doing a much better job than we saw in the first few drives of winning that battle against the Firestorm's offensive line. Sets up a 2nd and 9 now at the 41.
Friday on the tackle. Pump fake. Greenwald now goes underneath. Pass caught for another first down. Tackled by Matt Williams.
Checks the first receiver. It's not there. Moves back to the middle of the field. This is a good job of parking.
Greenwald back to pass again. Throws right. Pass caught. And I think they're going to mark the receiver down. That's to Streeter. I think Streeter-Turner.
Streeter-Turner tried to duck underneath the tackle, but his knee just grazed.
Yeah.
If it hadn't grazed, he's inside the 10. He might be gone.
There's a run right side. Eastwood snuffs it out. That's Jonathan Perks on the carry.
And it brings up a 3rd and... Well, now they're moving the chains. They are moving the chains now. So look, it might be a 3rd and very short, but looks like they're going to have just enough. So it will be a first down at the 15-yard line. And just like that, the Firestorm are rolling again on offense. And it's going to cause the Lions to use a timeout.
That's not a bad one. You burned one earlier on offense. Burn one now. You're in the red zone. They're in your red zone. Talk it over. Get the right personnel in the field. I like the timeout.
Yeah, just settle your defense back down. You haven't found a way to make a stop on this drive. They could probably use the breather at this point. And, you've already held them once inside. Actually, wasn't quite inside the red zone. It was at the 22-yard line earlier on. But you held them once deep in your own territory. You see the defense kind of converging. And the Firestorm with their sleek black helmets, ACU logo on the side.
I'm impressed with this program. Just their 3rd year of existence, and they have yet to lose a CSFL game. They beat us 61-30 last year.
Yeah, it really is amazing what they're doing. I actually had a chance not too long ago to hang out and talk with Texas Wesleyan's football coach. They are in the process of building their team. They're going to start their 1st year of action next year. We'll be seeing them pretty soon as they're going to move into the CSFL. It's going to be exciting. But he just talks about, yeah, it's going to, the growing pains are going to be so tough. It's so hard to get people committed into the program. Look at the CSFL standings right there. Bacone actually leads the conference at 2-0. It's because they played 2 games. Lions down at the bottom with Texas College and Langston. Langston not used to ever being called down near the bottom. They have run this conference for a long time, but they talked about how hard it is to get a program going. So in year 3 to be running a conference, just amazing.
That could all of it. Touchdown. ACU. That pass caught by Streeter Turner.
Oh, and let me tell you, Carl Morgan almost had a pick. He committed a little bit too low to the ball. This ball just hangs in the air. He takes 1 step back, he's got it, but instead of Streeter Turner streaking across the back of the end zone, touchdown. So the timeout didn't help the Lions out too much there.
5 plays, 52 yards. ACU back on top. That drive just took a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, you give ACU a short field like that, just 50-plus yards to work with, especially after they just got off the field, about 2 minutes before. That's exactly what they want. They turn a short field on you really fast. 2nd touchdown pass from Grinwald today. That one looked a little bit risky, but he froze the defender just enough. Honestly, it's the fact that it probably was a little bit risky that froze the defender, made him commit for an interception rather than staying with his man. Drops it in for the touchdown, and ACU goes back ahead 14-7.
Looked like an extended out route. When you have a short field like this, you can't really run your natural tree route of pattern of running routes. So when you have a short field, it's better to make the DBs run laterally, which you saw Streeter Turner actually was running alongside the yardage marker, trying to catch up to the football, streaking from his right to left on the touchdown catch. And again, if that ball's at the 40-yard line, it's probably going to be more downfield where he's running with the yardage markers, not against them. Either way, 14-7 is your score. I still think the Lions have to be happy. If they can go in with this score, or maybe put 3 points on the board and go in at halftime and regroup, you got to like where you're at against this high-powered team.
This is a very defining 6 minutes of this ball game. Can you make it 14-10? Can you tie it up? Or do you go 3 and out real fast and find yourself down by multiple scores going into the half?
Here's King again. He'll take it right at his own end zone, looking for a seam. Drags a defender down to the 27-yard line. Another good run by Shapiro King.
And if he could have hit that seam a little bit earlier, he could have been gone. Looking at our game stats so far, 100 rushing yards already for the Firestorm, 138 passing yards. They are dominating in total yards, 238-74, just 19 rushing yards for the Lions. But it only shows up for 7 points, a 7-point lead on the board. 3rd downs, neither team doing great, and that's an issue for the Firestorm. Talk about how they're 44% coming in. That's a pretty good average, but they're just 1 for 5 in this game. That's been a big part of stalling some of those drives, is that they were unable to convert on those 3rd downs, and they're 1 for 2 on 4th down attempts.
We have an illegal substitution foul. 12 players on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's unusual. As far as Arizona getting flagged for 12 men, usually it's Lions 12 men perhaps on defense. So, and that's coming off a kickoff return.
5 free yards up to the 21-yard line.
Or 31-yard line.
Yeah, 31.
Is it going to be caught? They're going to rule that a catch.
Yeah, Dotson. Thrown behind Dotson. He had to go back and get it and went to the ground while picking it up, but it's enough for the 1st down up to the 39-yard line.
Innitzer hands it off to Lowry, looking for some room on the right side. Gets dragged down to the 41-yard line, maybe 42-yard line.
Gain of about 2, and
as he really, You saw him dip in and out of the B gap, went out the outside of the tackle. That was not the intended route as he drew it up.
And getting pulled forward by his offensive lineman to help turn a loss into a 2-yard gain.
Knitzer, pump, he's got a man. Dotson, there should be a flag there. Where's the flag? They're asking for the flag, it doesn't come. Alias, or check that, Timothy Clayton on the coverage. Wow.
Yeah, Dotson.
Dotson, 1 versus 1. Check this out. I think there was some bumping.
Yeah,
right before the catch, right there. You got to call a flag right there.
Yeah, they might be ruling uncatchable, but when you see contact that solid, you usually see a flag, whether it's catchable or not.
Got to get a first down here. 3rd and 8, pass caught. Lowry in trouble, and he is wrapped up and stopped well short. A gain of maybe 1 or 2. You're going to kick the ball right back to the Firestorm, give them plenty of clock to put even more points on the board before halftime.
These Firestorm DBs and linebackers are just too quick to go underneath like that. You got to target. If you need 8 yards, you need to have routes that are running 8 yards. You throw underneath like this, and there's just no way Lowry's going to get out of this. He's got 5 guys between him and the line of scrimmage, and the first down marker. So not the ideal route pickup there. Credit obviously the DBs and linebackers and cornerbacks for shutting down other routes. You assume Knitzer had to be looking elsewhere to start out.
Interesting formation here.
It could be a fake. He's thinking about it.
And then he goes to punt, and it's about a 10-yard punt. It stays actually in bounds. It's going to roll back to the 38-yard line. That was odd, to say the least.
It looked like they were running a fake option, like we talked about earlier. Deeren rolling out right, looking around. You see some footage of the SAGU fans from our drone. That's right, we have a drone. But yeah, on that play right there, it looked like Deeren was just trying to maybe get a guy open. Arizona Christian read it the whole way, and then trying to kind of punt it on the run. Just gets an ugly punt, and so it's going to be another decent field position for the Firestorm. 38-yard line. They're on 38, 4:06. I don't need to tell you that's enough time for them to score.
Plenty of time, several times.
That was 46 seconds. That'd be enough time for them to score.
Eastwood trying to wrap up, get some help. Eastwood finally takes care of it himself.
He just went for a ride, held on to the back of his jersey the whole way. Just basically just holding Keita Thomas into place. Like, nope, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I got you.
You've got your 2 yards. I'm holding you in place. 2nd and 8 at their own 40 now.
Bach does continue to run, so they called that play dead before he ran out of bounds. Grenwald, short pass. Little drag pattern, caught near the 41-yard line.
And even though the Firestorm got a touchdown in the last drive, it was on plays down the field. The Lions are doing a good job of starting to snuff out this underneath stuff that was hurting them early on. You see it on the run right there. You see it on the little short pass that was starting to get them early on. Done a good job the last few drives on that. Of course, it opens up the down the field stuff, and that's what the Firestorm used on their last drive for the touchdown.
Lions into cover 1. Grenwald fires it short.
And great coverage.
Is that intended for Smith? They're beginning to target Smith. Now Morgan, great defense, and that forces a 3 and out for ACU.
Carl Morgan does a great job here, doubling back, stepping in front and getting a hand on that. That's a catch otherwise. That is all defense by Carl Morgan. He got hit with a touchdown in the last drive, but he does a great job forcing the 3 and out there, getting the offense the ball back to, again, define the end of this half. What is the story of the first half going to be? It's going to be written in the next 3 minutes.
You don't see King on the return here as a single man back at the 20. That's a booming kick. That needs to keep rolling, and it will. So the Lions will get at the 20-yard line.
That takes a big Lions roll. That could have held up inside the 5.
That was Pilote ready to receive it, but it went way over Pilote's head.
So less than 3 minutes to play the offense now. You really, obviously, you want to go get points, but the big thing is don't get a 3 and out here.
Again.
At least try to run this clock down. 14-7 isn't that terrible a score if you go to halftime with it, but you don't want to go down 2 scores. See some of the homecoming highlights here, again, courtesy of the SAGU Sports Network drone. When we started this broadcast 9 years ago, I guess, I don't think we knew what a drone was.
I think they quite existed for TV yet.
We were just glad our cameras were working.
Our team does a great job of bringing you all the coverage of SAGU Lions football. Grandwell, a wobbly pass, and that may have been caught. Was he in bounds, though?
Ball bounced out after it just wasn't able to lay it in well enough. Kinnitzer with the pump fake, trying to kind of throw the defenders off, it looked like. But then when he went for the actual pass, it seemed to come out of his hands awkwardly. See, the pump fake tries to freeze the defenders, but then the throw itself, just no good. And trying to double back for it, unable to.
Kinnitzer underneath, got a man open. Running back Lowry spins, turns on his feet, rumbles down to the 37-yard line. First down, Lions. And J.P. Lowry.
Another well-executed play. You spread the field out. You got the receivers going in every different direction in motion. Lowry gets underneath.
What a block right there by Debo McNeil to spring Lowry loose after the catch. Kinnitzer. Great pocket presence. Great job by the offensive line to give Kinnitzer time just to stand there, not have to run around and look at all of his reads. But that ball does fall incomplete. Love the hustle by the O-line right now. So some inspired football here as we near halftime. Can the Lions tie it back up again? Kinnitzer. Pocket collapses, throws right, got a man open, caught complete. Going up high is Chaz Moncrief with the catch.
And that is all Moncrief. Not a great pass from Kinnitzer. This one is high. Moncrief leaping into the air, making a great extending catch. 1, 2, that's a touchdown.
Just need one down in college, right?
That's a catch in the NFL. So great catch by Moncrief down inside Firestorm territory to the 40-yard line.
Now you got one timeout left. You're basically at a 2-minute mark here. So deer in territory would be the ball near the 25-yard line.
Waiting on a call from the official here.
2:17 on the game clock. 2:17.
Oh, they're resetting the game clock.
1-7.
Game clock back to 2:17 left.
So now 2:17 left in the first half. Again, you do have a timeout, obviously at the 40-yard line. You don't have to worry about the clock at all at this point. If anything, I'd worry about trying to get the clock down under a minute left as you try to tie up or at least cut into this Firestorm lead.
Kinnitzer got to scramble right, airs it out, got a man. Oh, looking for the back shoulder. Moncrief again wasn't there.
And it looked like it might have hit Moncrief in the hands or the face mask. Thrown behind him. I haven't seen this a lot, but he has a double back for the ball. And it does hit him in the fingertips, but he was in such an awkward position having to lean back for that one. It would have been a very amazing catch.
2nd and 10. Kinnitzer. Short pass left side. Lowry, get out of bounds, young man.
And tied up immediately.
I think they're going to say forward progress had stopped before the ball came loose. There was a fumble.
Yeah.
We'll keep it right here with the Lions.
Marcus Horn had a hold of him. I'm sorry, Malik Sawyer had a hold of him, not letting him loose.
There.
And the ball does come loose.
That's a generous call by the refs.
They only called for the clock to stop after the fumble, so the Lions get the benefit of a late whistle there, and there's no turnover.
3rd and 7 now. Kinnitzer, all kinds of times, got a man open in the middle, pass caught complete. Good enough for another Lions first down. And he's wrapped up inside the 30-yard line. Clock will continue to run once they reset the chains.
Firestorm again come out with the ball. I think this one was clearly down at this point, though. Yeah, it does a great job finding and running a good route. When you need 8, running a route picks up 12 or 13 instead. So now 1st and 10 down to the 27 clock. Under a minute and a half to go now.
Kinnitzer going for all of it. He's got a man. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Oh, my touchdown. Mr. Carr comes to town and delivers an amazing catch in double coverage.
He's got two guys in his face, goes up and gets it. What a presence of mind by Jeremy Carr. What a well-placed ball by Lincoln Kinnitzer, throwing into double coverage where neither defender had a chance to make a play on the ball. Carr is just going up for this ball blind, got two defenders right in his face, puts his hands up there and watches it all the way in. And now the extra point is up and good. The Lions have knotted this one up with just over a minute to play. What a big drive from the Lions offense.
That is a defining drive, I'm going to say this, for the season. And I'm going to tell you why. That was an 80-yard drive, Tim, and it did take just a minute and 36 seconds. You had runs mixed in with passes, inside, outside, long, short, and then a gutty throw right here by Kinnitzer to trust his receiver to go up and just get the ball.
If it's not a defining drive for the season, it's a defining drive for sure for Kinnitzer. Leading a big into the first half drive when you need to go get points, picking up a 3rd and long, and then you saw in the replay there, he's checking through his progressions. He's looking to the left, doesn't have a guy, scans the middle, doesn't have the guy, looks over there and says, you know what, I trust Carr. He's my playmaker. I'm going to throw him this perfect pass. It has to be perfect. If it's not, you risk throwing interception. So for Kinnitzer, we're maybe seeing this quarterback really develop in front of our eyes right now.
I don't think Kinnitzer could have made that throw the first time we saw him play this football game three weeks ago.
Going up against Hardin Simmons? No.
I don't think he had that in him.
No.
Confidence was just not there. It is there now.
Yeah, that was not a risk he would have taken
there you go.
3 or 4 weeks ago. He didn't believe in himself enough because it takes time, and going up against the best team in your conference, he takes the risk.
Oh, a little short pooch kick.
That's a live ball.
Go, pick it up! Pick up the ball! Oh my gosh, that is number 84. Xavier Pittman had it in his mitts.
The Firestorm just let the ball bounce, and the Lions miss a golden opportunity to turn this one on its head. And because it goes out of bounds, you're going to have the illegal kick penalty on the Lions as well.
Unless he touched it.
Just went through his hands. It looked like it was an awkward
free kick out of bounds.
So we'll see where they end up. They marked the ball at the 42-yard line. Still all day might as well be for the Firestorm. Minute 12 to play. They have all 3 timeouts. They're at their own 42. So this half is a long ways from over at this point.
Plenty of time. On the keeper, Granwald. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line. A pickup of 2. The clock does stop. A minute 6 left. I do like the call on the kickoff, though. Why not mix it up a little bit? Give yourself a chance to even take the lead.
And it froze the Firestorm. They weren't ready for it, and the ball was just a little bit too close. Might have taken an awkward bounce, and he just couldn't quite get his hands on it. But, yeah, that'd be huge if you could have converted it.
Garrett Granwald. He's going to be sacked, and there's a loose ball. He came right back down with it if it was loose. There's a sack. That's a coverage sack right there. That was a great, the D-backs
and Matt Leiter
allowed time for this rush to get there.
Fights through the big man up front. Leiter, definitely not the biggest guy out on that field, but he fights through his man, gets a big sack, clock rolling, under 40 seconds to play now, and 3rd and long.
One more good stop here should send us to halftime, tied up. Play action. Down to the 50-yard line. That is
Ethan Eastwood gets the tackle. That's a big tackle, too, because if he picks up a first down, we still got football to play here. As it is, he's held up short. It's going to bring up 4th and 2. And I think the Firestorm are going to be content to let this one run till halftime.
Yeah.
Unless it says it's 4th and 2. If you want to call a timeout with 3 or 4 seconds left, maybe gun a Hail Mary.
They're going to let it run out, or are they going?
They do call a time.
No, they do not.
They let it go. So we reached the end of the first half.
Wow, I would have never thought that had there been 28 points scored the first half, that it would be 14-14. I was thinking maybe 21-7 or 28-0, to be honest. I am extremely impressed with the guys in purple today.
The Lions offense responding both times after scores, getting out there, putting together great drives to keep this one close. Credit the defense. They know what they've got. They know that, you know, some days you walk in and you go, you know what, guys, there is no way we're pitching a shutout. Just get out there, minimize damage. That's what they've done so far. And, you know, so now here we are. Halftime, knotted up, homecoming. Beautiful weather, October in Texas. What more could you ask for?
I'll tell you what we could ask for. We could ask for Devin Ferguson to join us in the booth. A quick break. We'll be right back with homecoming man, the man of the hour. He's the mastermind of homecoming. Right back after the break, Devin Ferguson. Stay with us.